Hey, welcome to the 17 Law Studio. Like I did before, I'm going to move my studio around a little bit and just kind of make it a little different. If I hate the sound, I'll figure out something. If you hate the sound, shoot me an email, russ@17laws.com. I think it'll be fine. The main thing I like to get out there is some great information. And today I want to talk about getting along with your spouse. And why don't you get along with your spouse from time to time? And how can we improve on that? Does that sound like a good idea? And usually I've been answering questions, but I get so many questions about so many topics. I group them together and then I just kind of hit those on the videos. I guess if I was doing this full time, I would probably answer them one at a time, right? And yes, if you notice on my shirt, it says Dubrovnik. Where in the heck is that? If you don't know, if you've ever seen the show Game of Thrones, which I haven't, but anyway, I've since checked into it actually. Check out Dubrovnik. It's one of the most beautiful, most restored medieval cities on earth. Seriously, Google it. It's an amazing place. We were there on a cruise, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years ago, whenever it was. And that was one of the stops. And it's in Croatia. It's absolutely a gorgeous place. Highly recommend it. If you're ever out that way, wherever in the ballpark or you're planning a trip, Google Dubrovnik, look at the photos, and you'll go, oh my gosh, I didn't know a place that beautiful existed. Anyway, we're not talking about travel today, but we can talk about travel. I want to talk about is getting along with your spouse. Why don't you get along with your spouse? Uh, and so I usually get a question of, hey, my husband was supposed to come home from work early and he didn't, so and I'm upset, or he promised me this all the time, or she was supposed to do this. Um, so what really happens is this: most people are upset at anything, whether it's your boss, your kids, your neighbor, or whatever, is because of unmet expectations. Unmet expectations. You expected this to happen, but it didn't happen. So now you're upset. Whatever the case may be. Oftentimes, a wife would say about the husband, well, you should have just thought of that. Well, he didn't. And ladies, we don't. And ladies, we won't think of those things unless you tell us. There's the chances of us reading your mind darn near zero. Now we can figure out that you're miffed, that you're mad, and it doesn't take a rocket surgeon to figure out that it's you're mad at us. That's the easy part. Now what you're mad about, you had some expectations of us and we're clueless. We had no idea why you are mad at us. I've done that. We've played this game in my house before where well, what are you mad about? Why, no. You just should have known. You should have figured it out. Well, once my wife figured out that it's not automatic, that I'm a typical guy, just communicate. Just tell me. See, she put the expectations on me like that. I loved her if I had thought of it, and that's really not fair to me. This was a long time ago, and we don't do this. We haven't done this a long time. But that's what you're doing. You're putting a expectation on your husband and saying, if you really love me, you would have thought of this, and because you didn't do this, you must love something or someone else better, or you don't love me like you should. And that kind of logic, although it feels like that's the way you ought to feel at the time, I just want to share with you why you shouldn't do that. One, you're torturing yourself, you're torturing your husband. So my wife, there was something going on around the house. I think it was with the kids. They were doing something, putting them to bed or bath or whatever the case may be. And I was doing something oblivious to what was going on. I really wasn't even paying attention. I don't even remember why. Well, then she's upset at me later. This is a long time ago. We don't do this anymore. But she said, well, you should have seen that I was busy doing this. I said, I didn't even see you. I didn't even hear you. I didn't know where y'all were. I didn't know what you were doing. I got busy doing this other thing. And now, if that would have happened, or now she'll say, hey, in a few minutes, I'm going to go tackle this project. I'd love for you to help me. Oh, great. That's all I need. I didn't know you were tackling a project. This is another one. So we'd get up on Saturday morning, and the kids and I are like, "Yes, it's Saturday. Man, this is playtime." And my wife would be uh, like, "No, this is cleaning the house time." But we never had the conversation. It just never crossed my mind that Saturday wouldn't be playtime. It never crossed her mind like, "Oh, I've got everybody here. Let's clean the house." Right? She wasn't right or wrong. I wasn't right or wrong. We're both wrong, really, because we didn't communicate to each other. But why would you clean a house on a Saturday? And she's thinking, why wouldn't you clean a house on a Saturday? I'm thinking you got 6 other days to clean the house, or we have 6 other days to clean the house. But no, I don't want to clean the house. We're going to have fun. So there were a number of times that we're like, like Saturday, it's like, oh, this is really weird. It's supposed to be a fun day, and we're not having any fun, and no fun, and the house isn't getting clean either. It's one of those where you don't want to make eye contact. So what we decided to do is communicate. Oh my gosh, did I say that? We actually communicate. And to this day, we do that because so many of us unmet expectations. That's why spouses, that's why you get mad at your children. Oh, why didn't you clean your room? Well, and they're probably like, my son, why didn't you clean your room? I didn't realize it was dirty. Well, there's clothes everywhere. Yeah, but those are clean. Those on that pile on the floor are clean. See, that makes perfectly good sense to a guy. But then you have to have that conversation. I could get mad about it, or I could have a civil conversation about it. So here's the thing about what my wife and I have done for years and years and years. It works so well. I do it to this day. I did it today, as a matter of fact, to my kid actually. So what I like to do is communicate. I like to let everybody know. It's like, oh, yeah, are they micromanaging? You scared you're going to go out to the strip clubs and get drunk, get wasted, and you think you're going to? No, it has nothing to do with that. I don't want to. I just don't want to have any. If I can communicate what the plan is, then it'll go a lot better. For example, my wife and I now, generally on Sundays, it doesn't have to be Sunday, but generally on Sundays, we don't like it. We're not ready. Oh, it's time for our Sunday meeting. It's 1:27, dear. Let's sit down at the calculator and count our. No, we don't do that. That'd be so weird. No, sometime on Sunday, like, oh yeah, let me pull out my phone here. Yeah, I got on Monday night we got this. On Tuesday we got this. On Wednesday this. Thursday this. And Friday this. And then it's not in stone. Some things are in stone. We might say on Tuesday night's free, Thursday night's free, Wednesday night we got something with so and so. It's a birthday party, whatever. But we share and we have expectations. And then we always say, "What are you going to do this weekend?" I said, "I don't have any plans." Or we talked about going to the lake, renting a boat, or we talked about whatever it is we talked about. We talked about doing nothing. I don't know. And then so we talked about. So we'll talk about what's going to happen on the weekend too. And then as we get closer to the weekend, we get down there closer, like Thursday or Friday. Hey, yeah, Friday night we got this going on. Saturday. I've got to run over here and do this at some point in the day. It really doesn't matter when. I'm thinking around, how you're going to, we'll have coffee about 10. You'll start getting ready for the day. Maybe then I'll run over there and do blank or, we just communicate. So there is no showing up on Saturday going, well, I thought we were going to, oh, I thought you were going to, well, you just don't love me because you're going to go. No, it's not that. Even if I want to go play golf with my buddies on Saturday, I just communicate. So that we don't show up on Saturday and she say, well, I thought we were going to be together all day. Well, no, we had 4 conversations about golf. So that conversation never happens. There's no way she's going to say, oh, I thought we were going to be together Saturday morning. When we've talked for 4 days about me playing golf Saturday morning. And I'm not saying she better not say anything because we talked. I don't mean that. I mean, it's just like if she wanted to do something Saturday morning, I'm not going to say, oh gosh, I can't believe this is the first I've heard of it. No, we talked about it all week and we're good with it. And we've got a good enough relationship. If I would have said I'm going to play golf Saturday morning, she said, really, I know we're going to be up late Friday and the kids are going to be gone. It'd really be nice if you could maybe we could stick around and do this. It'd be really fun. I mean, the world, I hadn't seen you all week. You got meetings you're going to be traveling Tuesday to Friday. Man, I'd love to see you Saturday. And I might say, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, I can skip golf. But she's not going to go, well, I'm just going to get mad because you don't play golf instead of see me. No, that's not going to happen. We'll just have the conversation. So setting the expectation. So every day, of course, my job might be different than yours. Like you may work a certain set time and you know exactly. Mine's, when I get off work, it's a little vague. And so every day, and I always schedule exercise. That's a whole nother video. I schedule exercise. I schedule this. So a lot of times I might text, hey, I'm getting off work. Plan on getting off work at about this time. I'm going to work out or run or get on elliptical, weights, whatever, from here to here. And then I'll be yours at just say 5:30 or whatever. Then all the expectations are set. There is no, well, I thought you're going to be home here. And occasionally, yeah, I'm running late, and I'll text, hey, I'm running late. And I had a buddy of mine who said, I just stopped texting, I'm running late, because I just figure forgiveness is better than permission. What? No. If you're running late, hey, this customer kept me over, or this client kept me over, or my boss kept me over, or I'm stuck in traffic, I'm taking a picture of the traffic. Not that anybody doesn't trust anybody. It's just common courtesy, common decency to set the right expectations. Because I have before said, hey, I'll be home at say 6. There's a bunch of people around my kitchen table, and I show up at 6:30, and they're like, where have you been? We have supper ready. And they're not mean about it. It's like supper's I could have said I'm running 30 minutes late, and they probably would have waited. I'm okay if they didn't wait. It wasn't like the end of the world, but I like setting the realistic expectations. And I typically kind of overshoot. So if I think I'm going to be home at 5:30, I say 5:45. I know guys who think they're going to be at 5:30, they say 5:15. No, I don't like that. And I just love setting expectations on whatever that is. Let's just suppose you're going to the beach. We're leaving Saturday. When's a good time to set expectations with the family? What time are you leaving on Saturday? Monday, Tuesday? Yeah, wouldn't that be great? How about Friday night at 10 o'clock? Is that a good time? No. Because if you're going to say, we're going to leave at 6 in the morning, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? No. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, hey, we're leaving at 8, we're leaving at whatever the case may be. So I always like to set expectations. No matter where we're going, whatever time. Church. All right, we got to be there at 11. Hey, we're going to leave at 10:35. And I might even, she'll say, my wife might say, hey, what time are we leaving for church? Hey, we got to leave about 10:35. That gives us plenty of time to get a good parking place, whatever. Absolutely, always. I'm always setting expectations. Wife is out of town. While I'm making this video, my wife's out of town, and so I had my son, family, kids at the house. So I'm texting them during the day. Hey, I'm getting off work at this time. I'm going to work out with the weights at this time, and then we can do whatever at this time. Just kind of get out. And I'm not that rigid. I'm just saying that's my plan. I'm going to do this, this, and this. Now, have I ever come home and there's a bunch of people in my house and I didn't get to work out? Yeah, that's happened. Do I whine about it? No. Do I ever get home and somebody calls and say, hey, you want to go out to eat? Sure. Or things change? Yeah, I'm just saying, unless something changes, this is what the plan's going to be. Always set expectations. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but I can't tell you how important it is to always be setting expectations. Another reason families argue is because they set unrealistic expectations. Hey, we know people who they say, we're going to leave at 8 in the morning. And you know good and well they're not going to leave before 10. But there's part of the family that busts their butt to get ready by 8. And then they have to sit around and everybody's in a really bad mood by 10, right? Unrealistic expectations. Like if I told my wife I'm going to be home at 5 and knowing good and well it's going to be 6, unrealistic expectations. That's just as bad as not having any properly set. The same thing as not having properly set expectations. Hey, I'm going to play 18 holes of golf Saturday morning. I'm going to be home by lunch. That's probably not going to happen. You're probably not going to be home by lunch. Oh, we're starting at 9:30. I'm play 18 holes. I'll be home by lunch. No, it's not going to happen. Hey, I'm going to run over to so-and-so's house after work, and I get off at 5:30. I'll be over there at 6. I should be home by 6:30. No, that's probably not going to happen. I'm going to go have dinner with my friends. I'll probably be home by 7. Probably not going to happen. Just always set the realistic expectation. I'll tell you what happens when you don't set realistic expectations. It means your integrity and your word means absolutely nothing. Basically, you're lying to them. You're lying to your spouse. You're saying, I'm going to do this, and it's not going to happen. And your spouse gets onto you. That gets onto your little lies because they realize, like, nah, I can't trust you. I can't. Now they may not call you out and say I can't trust you, but they do know. Well, you know those people. They say, "Hey, we're going to be at your house at 5," and you go, I'm thinking 6:30 at the latest. Let's not start dinner until 6 because they probably won't be here when they say that. You know those people. Even my kids, they have group texts, and friends have group texts, and it's always, hey, let's go do this, this, and this, and then there's this other group, and they say, okay, they're probably not really going to do what they say they're going to do, so we're gonna, what are we really going to do? Because they're not. Everybody, and if you don't have one of those extra texts, it's probably you. Okay, let's move on to something else other than unmet expectations. What's the next thing that I see why couples don't get along? And this isn't the biggest thing, but I do see it. And it's that men and women are different. Did you know that? Men and women are different. So men think different. And this is in general. Like people will say that women are better at multitasking. Well, does that mean all women are good at multitasking? No. Does that mean that men can't multitask? No. I can multitask with the best of them. But there's a lot of things I can't do. But generally, most men can't multitask. Like you got the average man, and you start talking to him, he looks down, talking to it, and starts texting on his phone. He's completely tuned you out. Now, what I can do, I can read or do something and completely tune everything else on. I can do that, but I can also multitask. But when I used to have to study and read, I would crank the music up real loud because I can tune everything out. If I'm in a crowd, I can tune everything out and focus on one thing and not hear anything. Or I can listen to all that, pay attention to all of it. So men and women are different. Women can multitask. But this is just one example. There's a lot of differences, as you well know. Just recognizing that there are differences. But what I want to share with you is where I see men and women not getting along is because they're trying to change their spouse. They want their husband to multitask, and the husbands want their wife not to multitask. So the husband thinks, well, if the wife is multitasking, she's probably not listening. Well, she probably shouldn't multitask. Maybe she should be doing eye contact and listening, depending on what you're doing. But realize that he can't multitask, so if he's doing something else, he's probably not listening. There's an assumption that she's not. Well, that's not true. So if you're trying to make your wife where she can't multitask, that might be a little hard. She's still got to feed the kids and do the dishes and maybe cook or whatever it is she's doing. Or maybe she's on her laptop or she had to respond to a quick text. Or the kid said, hey, my stomach's feeling bad. She's texting them real quick. Hey, if it gets any worse, let me know. I'll come pick you up. Whatever the case may be. So, and guys might get frustrated at their wife and say, you're not listening to me. Well, she probably is. There's a really good chance she's listening. Now, if she says to the husband, when he's texting, you're not listening to me, you'd be spot on. You're not. But here's where it would work the other way. So the husband is so focused, so the wife will come in and start going, I don't mean nagging, I mean just talking. And he's focused on this, and then he stops. And now what'd you say? And she, oh, you're just not listening to me. And of course, the guy says, as far as he heard, that's the only statement he's heard is you're not listening to me. And he's thinking, well, that's a weird way to start off a conversation with you're not listening to me. You haven't said anything yet. He hasn't heard anything she said. So what my wife, if she sees that I'm truly dialed into something, she'll come to me and say, hey, let me know when you have a second. And I want to share something with you. And then let me finish my email, my text, or whatever it is I'm doing. And when I'm ever in the middle of it. You know how frustrating it is when you've got a line of thought and then you're really in the zone and somebody comes up and drags you away and then you come back and go, now where was I? Let me figure all this out, and do all that. Yeah, that's what you're asking your husband to do. It's very frustrating. But if you can say, hey, don't change him. Don't accuse him of not loving you or not listening because he's focused. That God made him that way. That's just how most guys are. Just recognize it. And if you want the best resort, say, hey, whenever you get a chance, holler at me. I need you just whenever you get a chance. Then he'll say, okay, yeah, what is it, honey? yeah, okay, yeah. And then like I'm with you now. I'll hear everything you say now. Um, so that's just some examples of that men and women are different. There are so many. There are also some ways that people say men and women are different, and I personally think they're the same. For example, a good example here. So women might want to come home and just vent or just share what went on during the day. Can you believe this guy did this, or this lady at my office did this? Can you believe they did that? And then the husbands react by wanting to fix everything, right? You've heard this 100 times. She doesn't want you to fix it, guys. She wants you to listen because listening is the fix. She already knows the answer. She knows what that means. Uh, and then when you try to fix it, what does she say? You're not. You're just not listening. You're just not listening. Well, he's like, not only did I listen, oh my God, I'm not only the best listener this side of the Pacific Ocean, I also fixed your problem. I deserve an award. But that's not what she needed. She needed somebody to just listen. Somebody go, oh wow, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, no way. Ah, well you handled that great. Wow. Well, I don't know. What are you going to do about that? Oh, you are. Oh, now that's exactly what I would have. Yeah, that's what I would have suggested. Yeah. That's how you. That's the guys. That's how you listen. Now this is where people say they're women are different, but no. I say men and women are the same because it's the same thing with the guys. He comes home and vents, and then she says, "Oh, I'd have fired that guy. By God, if he was, I'd have fired him right now." And but the guy already knows what to do. He already knew what was going on, and but here's the difference. Well, the women says you're not listening. You know what the guys say? You think I'm that stupid that I don't really know how to fix whatever problem I'm sharing with you about? I'm just sharing to be because I like to share. You're the love of my life. You're the most important human on earth. I like to share too. And then when you tell me how I need to run my life, that just feels very disrespectful. Like you think I'm an idiot and I can't fix these problems. And you're really because I want to listening is the fix for guys too. Oh my gosh, how about that? You want guys to talk more? Listen more. Don't fix more. You know, my husband never talks. Well, it's because when he does, you want to fix everything. No, that might be the only reason. There's other things that lead up to it. But that's something that you can realize with the guys, they want to be heard as well. So that's just more ways that men and women are different. More and women, men and women are the same. Some you know some obvious ones, I'm sure, but these just give you an idea. Some different aspects. It's coming from a different angle that might touch your heart as you're listening to this. So I hear guys or somebody might say, I'd take a bullet for my kid, or I'd take a bullet for my wife, or would you take a bullet for your husband? Yeah, I'd take a bullet for my family. Yeah, that's me. I'd take a bullet for them. Which I think is great that you would take a bullet for I mean, that's like, yeah, that's how much I love my family. Now, now, if my wife isn't perfectly nice to me every second of the day, I might get really, really mad at her. If I feel disrespected even slightly, I'll get all sideways. But I'll take a bullet for her. Like, what? How can you take a dang bullet for your spouse, but if they don't do something perfect, your husband's a little rude, you're gonna get sideways. But you'll take a bullet for him. But I won't take a tiny little thing. And I take a bullet. Well, it's easy to say I take a bullet because you're probably not going to take a bullet, right? I mean, what are you doing for people to be shooting at you and you're having to dive in front of your spouse? It happens. Not as common as the news would like to share. It's around in America. It does happen in some cities more than others, but at the end of the day, you're probably not going to take a bullet for your spouse. You might get shot, but it ain't going to be taking a bullet for yourself. But you say that, like this big thing, I can do this big thing I can do. But I can't have a little grace for my husband or a little grace for my spouse or a little grace for my kids. I can't kind of overlook a little. Maybe they didn't mean what they said. Maybe they didn't show up exactly when I thought they would, and maybe I had a little bit. My expectations weren't set just a little bit. I mean, could I take that for my spouse? That little bitty. argument here and there. They didn't take out the garbage, they didn't pick up the clothes, the dishes aren't as clean as I'd like. The car parked in the grass. I wish it hadn't, or whatever. I don't know what is going on in your life. Could I take that and not worry about it? Wouldn't that be nice? You don't worry about the bullet. Where's the grace and the love? Like when you were dating, right? When you would not only take a bullet, but you would also, oh, don't worry about all that. Don't worry about you're 2 hours late. Don't worry about anything silly. Don't worry about that somebody that she was bit my head off because she thought I did something I didn't do, and I had to explain. No, 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 no. If you'll take a bullet for your spouse, oh my gosh, I think we can take the little things, and I think we're talking about husband and wife getting along. Go back to like when you were dating. Oh, let me get the door for you, honey. Oh, let's go. Now, where do you want to eat? I want to go where you want to go. Oh, no. Oh, you know what? I know you love this place. Let's go. Let's go there, right? And then, it doesn't matter if you hadn't had time to take a shower. It'll be fine. You smell fine. Really, you smell. I know you hadn't had time to shave, or you hadn't had time to shave your leg. I know you know, oh, you don't have any money? That's okay. I'll buy. No, we don't have to eat. Let's just go over to my grandmother's. We'll get something to eat. You don't have to. Oh, I love you. I don't care how much money you have. Oh, you backed into that pole. Oh, well, that pole was really small. Gosh, and that could have happened to anybody. Oh, you bumped into the back of that car. Well, they probably shouldn't have been parked there anyway. That's the kind of attitude you have dating, and then it goes away. Bring that back. Man, I'll take a bullet for my. I'm not going to have to take a bullet for my family, but I'll take a little crap for my family. I'll take a little this for my family. I'll take all that. I'm not going to let that stuff bother me. If I'm willing to take a bullet, I'll take any. I'm not gonna let anything bother me. By golly, my family, my spouse is that important. So I hope this helps. And again, thank you for staying tuned into the new 17 Law Studio. It's not the new one. It's just the new one that's happening today. And follow me everywhere you can possibly follow me for these videos everywhere you can. My only goal is to help. And I hope this helps.